Has been in executive session since the hour of 5 o'clock p.m. Now we're ready to open our open public session. First order of business is the meeting is now called to order. The first order of business is 6.01, the invocation presented by Reverend Willistine Legree of the Assistant Pastor of New Ebenezer Baptist Church. Will you join us at the podium to my left, your right?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Praise be to our God. Come on, let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise this evening. Let us bow. Eternal and all-wise God, our Father, we have come together for the purpose of this board meeting, the business at hand, and we pray tonight, oh God, in all your faithfulness and your loving kindness and your favor, that you continue to shower upon us, that even tonight we invite your presence. We know that you're here with us. We ask for your operating power. We thank you for your peace. And we pray that everything that is done here tonight would be done in decency and in order. We pray, oh God, that you would regulate our minds, that we would be engaged with whatever has been put on our agenda and whatever you have put on the minds and the hearts of these thy people. We are so excited about all these wonderful families together. We are excited about all of our administrators and all of our leaders. And we're so grateful for this community, and I'm glad to be a part of this community, the Burnside community, school community. And so grateful for every person who've come out to participate in this service tonight. So we ask now that you bless all that we do, all that we say, and all of our action will be pleasing in your sight. We give you advance thanks and praise, and we give you the glory in Jesus' name. Amen, and amen.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Legree, for those words tonight. We appreciate what you do in this community, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future. Next is item 6.02, the agenda adoption. There is one change to the agenda. I've asked that we delete item 11.01, the procurement audit report that's on here that was placed inadvertently on this agenda. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Bishop, seconded by Commissioner Anderson, to approve the agenda adoption with said item deleted. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it, so ordered. I'm so sorry. I'm used to doing it manually, but you'll do it for us.
I will now, yes.
Thank you, ma'am, electronically. So and I do want to note that we do have all 6 board members present tonight. Next on the agenda is item 6.03, school presentation presented by Commissioner Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Annie Burnside, brief history. Annie Burnside Elementary School was built in 1954 on 10 acres of land in Lower Richland County. It is located 7.2 miles from downtown Columbia in a transit community. The school is named in honor of Miss Annie Burgess Burnside, who served as the school principal for 23 years. The school's mascot is the bodacious bee, and the colors are royal blue and white. Burnside is a Leader in Me school that was recognized as a Lighthouse School in 2019, this year, for outstanding student leadership. This is the highest status attainable under the Leader in Me program. Give yourselves a hand. Got some more good stuff. Burnside also received an overall rating of good on their school report card for 2019. Burnside continues to be committed to their mission to B, believe, E, encourage, E, engage, and S, support every child, every day. Our Dr. Felicia Richardson, our awesome principal here, will now come forward with the school presentation. Kids behind you too.
Hold on, just please.
My name is Jordan West, and I'm a fifth grader here at Burnside. Now that you have been welcomed to our unique school, I would like to take just a few more minutes to engage you in part of a lesson that was done in my class. My good friend, Michaela Collins, will pass out drawstring bags that are made in our Sisters of the Hive Club. In those bags, you have letters. I will read a poem that I wrote describing a character trait. Your challenge is to see if you can figure out that word in my poem and try to create that word with the letters given. Are you ready?
Yes.
Almost.
I give you the strength to make decisions each day that affect what people do and say. If you didn't have me within your soul, you'd be too frightened to pursue your goal. I can't disappear no matter the crowd. I am the trait that makes most people proud. Who am I? You have 10 seconds. Go. 10, 9,
I got it.
8,
Bishop cheating.
7,
I got it.
6,
I got it, right?
5,
Spelled it, but okay.
4,
Yes.
Come on.
Come on, y'all.
3,
Got it.
2,
Come on.
1. Who did you guess?
Courage.
If you guessed courage, you are correct. Board members, Dr. Witherspoon, and other leaders in our district, thank you for having the courage to make decisions that are best for us children. And now, our principal, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you all for allowing Burnside to host your December 10th school board meeting. Thank you.
Awesome.
Dr. Richardson, that's all you gonna say to us tonight?
Did you have questions?
Before I say that this concludes our school board spotlight, Mr. Chair, certainly excited to be in my hometown, Lower Richland. Me and Eva will have a very short drive home tonight, so thank y'all so very much for hosting this meeting. And I ask that all my colleagues call me when they make it home safely to their destination, but I will beat them home tonight. So
Okay,
y'all.
yes.
All right. Thank you for the great work that you do. Thank you so much. Dr. Witherspoon, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris. I'll turn it over to Dr. Witherspoon this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioner Harris. Certainly, Dr. Richardson and the staff, students and parents here at Burnside, we thank you so much for what you do. Recall being here, I think a year or so ago when you went through the Leader in Me celebration, and they did a conference here in Columbia, and remember coming up and seeing the buses with folks that were at the conference, but they came here to Burnside to see what was going on, and of course wonderful students and their presentations. And staff, thank you for what you do. And I want to say a special thank you to the parents, and certainly in this community, because I do know, again, from being here and seeing what happens here, a lot of the success at Burnside certainly speaks to the parents and their engagement and involvement as well. So I want to thank you all so very much. And we're, let's give them a hand. So just want to say, continue the good work, continue to do great things for kids, and support this community. Thank you all so very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Dr. Witherspoon. Thank you to the school and to the staff for hosting us tonight. We really appreciate it. We had a very warm welcome by our young people as we came into the front door.
Yes.
And before we went to executive session, thank you for teaching them manners and to be mannerable and very welcoming and hospitable as we enter into this facility. At this time, we will move to item 7, which is the consent agenda item. 7.01, we'll read all three of these items in at one time. 7.01, which is the minutes 7.02, contract extension, wastewater treatment operator services. 7.03, contract extension, professional development service, Avid Center headquarters. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Bishop, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve the consent agenda items. Now comes the point of question or discussion. Seeing none, hearing none, we will, I'm sorry, Ms. King? Thank you.
On the Avid 703, is that a renewal? It's a contract extension. The way it's worded, I'm a little confused. Is that just a renewal of the agreement with Avid, or it says professional development services? It's a renewal. Avid Center headquarters. It's a renewal of the contract?
Yes.
Members of the board, it is a contract renewal. I'm sorry.
So my question is, why? I know that contracts are not always lined up with the school year, but why is this not lined up with the school year? I mean, I would imagine it would make a difference, right?
This one.
I mean, did we start in December, Avid, or at the time that we did? And then well, I'll let you answer this one. I have a second question after that.
Good evening. This is a contract renewal for 1920 school year. The contract originally came to us in April of this year, 2019, but our funding does not start until after July 1st. And so we had to wait until our funding came in, and then we went through the process with the contract renewal.
Okay, the funding meaning Title I.
That is correct.
Okay, so the funding comes in July.
After July 1st, we receive an amount that is not accurate, but it gives us pretty much an indication of what our funds will be for the year. And then once that is official, we provide our contract renewals through the process for Avid for this year.
Okay, and then Dr. Witherspoon, this might be a discussion for further, but you know how I love Avid, because I think that it is really a tool that all students, Title I or otherwise, can use. I'm concerned that other schools also really need that tool, and if there is one that, I mean, I understand what is it called? Subrogation? Supplanting. Always, this one that I can't always remember. So the supplanting, yet it's just such a critical piece of shaping kids in learning well and getting organized. This school is a Leader in Me school. How does Leader in Me also sort of layers up with Avid? Because a lot of the stuff that's in Avid is really taught through the 7 habits.
I'm not able to answer that particular question.
So we only have just a few schools that have Leader in Me, but so do they have both? Because this school has Avid too.
Yeah, there will be certain components.
Good evening. Avid provides the concrete strategies to help support Leader in Me. So when you think about the 7 habits and you talk about being proactive and begin with the end in mind, a part of being proactive is one of the components of Avid, which is Wicker organization. When you talk about beginning with the end in mind, you're talking about helping students to set goals. Think first, seek first to understand, then to be understood. You're using those strategies of Socratic seminar and philosophical chairs. So it provides them with the concrete strategies to understand what can be very abstract habits for students at this age.
Okay, well said. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions or comments at this time regarding the consent agenda item? Has been properly moved and second. We were in discussion. We will now vote electronically. Thank you very much. vote is 6-0. It is unanimous. That consent agenda items 7.01 and 7.03 were passed together as one item. Thank you. Next is item 8, Office of the Board, 8.01, Personnel Matters, presented by the Chairman. This was an opportunity where the board met to discuss 2 personnel matters dealing with 2 employees with the initials EW and KW. No action is needed at this time on those matters. Next is 8.02, the student appeal hearing, presented by Ms. Manyweather.
Chairman Devine, Dr. Witherspoon, Board of Commissioners, the administration recommends that the board uphold the recommendation of the hearing office and review potential support services to assist the student in successfully completing her senior year. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Sauls to approve said recommendation. Now comes the point of discussion or questions. Seeing none, hearing none, we will now move to cast our votes electronically. The vote is unanimous to approve the student appeal as presented by the administration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next is item 3, the board report. At this time, we open the floor to board members. If they have any report over the last several weeks, visiting schools, chat with the chair, anything of that nature. Commissioner Harris?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to start first with a point of personal privilege to recognize a very good friend of mine and schoolmate of mine that's present on tonight, who's from the Lower Richland community, a Lower Richland graduate, product of Richland 1, who is now a judge. And I just want him to wave, if he could, Judge Overture Walker. Glad to have you here on tonight with us. And certainly want to thank him publicly for all of his support to the Alumni Foundation that not only supports our high school, Lower Richland, but also supports all of our middle schools and our elementary schools, including Burnside, that is in this community. So thank you so much for being out with us on tonight. I did want to share very briefly, Mr. Chair, that several of us attended our school board conference, our legislative advocacy conference, which and wanted to share with you because I know you serve on the SCSBA board. It's probably one of the best conferences we've had because we took such a deep dive with what's going on legislatively at the Capitol right now and how it can potentially impact and harm education as we see it on today. So certainly wanted to just share with the community that we did attend a very packed conference this weekend. I think we barely got some sleep, Commissioner Anderson, because there was just so much information that was given and presented to us, but also an opportunity to share with others around the state. So just wanted to share that. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Are there any other comments? Yes. And before you go there, in light of the school board conference, we definitely want to say congratulations to Commissioner Harris for being appointed as the president of the Black Caucus elected to the president of the South Carolina Black Caucus for the School Board Association. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd like for the board to have a discussion either at the next board meeting or during a work session to address the committee structures. I think we haven't done that yet. We know we need to change that and come up with a consensus. I think it is the role of the board to discuss that and even do the research. We have a lot of contacts with different board members throughout the state, and we can look at how they do things, and of course inject our own particular preferences and style in there. But this is something that we need to put in place. So I would ask that maybe in the month of January that we carve some time to come up with a committee structure that will be good. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments from board members at this time? Commissioner Sauls.
First, I want to personally thank, they've all gone, but the staff, the team, the parents that pulled together the opening production. I'm only speaking for what we talk about. We're a team up here, but we're one of 7. Every once in a while, I forget why I do it because I get tired. And I stood there and I watched that, and I remembered why we do it. And I will thank you. I will carry that with me, not just for the rest of the night, but for a good long while after that. The second is, and Commissioner King, I know that you would never do this, but I will take a point of privilege for you. We have a D1 commitment from one. Commissioner King's son, William, who plays lacrosse from Flora, has committed to St. Joseph's in Philadelphia. And congratulations to William, but also congratulations to you and Mr. King, because I know that it takes a village. So I did want to say congratulations. And I know that Flora has an incredible lacrosse team, and I know that we are talking, and I saw AD Matz walk in. I know that we are talking about expanding sports throughout the district, and I look forward to seeing other young men and women follow suit. So congratulations to William and to you and Mr. King.
Thank you. Donations are accepted for travel and the rest. But on that note, I just want to add something. The lacrosse program at AC Flora is an about 20-year old program. It is not easy to get to where we are today, and I know that at the time when we talk about expanding sports, it's very important to know that it takes really a lot of dedication from a lot of different people, and it takes years to build really, really solid programs. Community and parental engagement is absolutely key. So I'm really proud of the Flora community for having done that, and I will tell you that AC Flora does not want to be the only Richland One school to have lacrosse. We want to have playmates. So I think it's been very clear from the staff at Flora, the lacrosse staff and the parents and the lacrosse community, that other schools who want to venture into building a lacrosse program will find support from what we've learned and from our gifts. That's it. Thanks.
All right. Any other comments at this time from board members? Commissioner Bishop.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I recognize the statewide leadership of Commissioner Harris, but I also want to recognize the statewide leadership of Commissioner Devine, who is also our Secretary Treasurer of the South Carolina School Board Association. Congratulations to both of them who went to this conference and decided to put their name in the hat to be a part of our statewide leadership. But back to the leadership here as well. Thank you for the wonderful reception that these young men gave us as commissioners. I think that deserves a round of applause. One of the students met me at the door, and he's no higher than probably my rib cage. But he looked up at me and asked me, "So what does a commissioner do?" And I had to really think and, and answer that question. I answered it as best as I could. And what really impressed me was at the end, I asked him a question. "So what do you desire to do when you become an adult?" His response was, "I think I'll be a commissioner." And that means a lot. And I'll be short. I remember seeing the impression that my principal gave me in elementary school, and it was all over the fact that he could get an extra cookie as he went through the cafeteria line. And my aspiration at that young age was not the money, not the position, but to get an extra cookie if I ever became a principal or a leader in education. So thank you for allowing them to not only look up to us, but to be able to be inspired to become great. Excellent job.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to speak to, again, the leadership of this this great Richland School District 1. I was able to participate in the Principal of the Year surprise for Dr. Coltrane, and so great job and hats off to the district, and also to piggyback on Commissioner Bishop. Thank you, Dr. Felicia Richardson, for what you do here. I was also here for the Leader in Me, and it was amazing. I also came through when you all had your prayer walkthrough, and I think that speaks volumes to what goes in this building. And so thank you for what you do. Thank you all, for all our principals, all our teachers, everyone, for what we do for making this district R1 strong. Thank you, sir.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll be real brief. Just want to thank Commissioner Bishop for recognizing us, and just let my colleagues know that I've already signed you all up for the state conference that will be hosted in Richland 1 in July. So thank you so very much for your support, and we'll be calling on all of you guys to help us. And Dr. Richardson, I may have these young people perform at that conference for us, because we're going to showcase R1 Strong, like Commissioner Anderson said. Thank you again for what you do. Thank you.
All right. Just want to again thank everybody for attending the SCSB conference this past weekend. We had over 350 participants, one of our largest. We heard from a legislative panel that included Senator John Scott and Representative Ivory Thigpen from the Richland County delegation. We also received a budget review from the State Finance Committee budget staff. We also received a federal briefing from Deborah Rigsby with NSBA, the National School Boards Association. And then we also heard legislative forecasts from lobbyists for education groups such as teachers and administrators. And then, of course, lastly, we adopted SCSBA's legislative platform for elected officials and directors, and adopted constitutional changes as well. And so, again, we're grateful for the training that we get from SCSBA, and look forward to a great year. This year, we elected Chuck Sailors from the Greenville School Board as our state president, and then our president-elect is Cheryl Burgess from Lexington 3, which is Batesburg-Leesville, and then yours truly as secretary-treasurer along that leadership line. But we want to focus this year on civility. So in February, our civility and professional ethics workshop will be held, and we would like for all board members to attend that if they can, because we know that the world is changing and continues to change, but we got to sit down, we got to listen to each other, and we got to hear each other, and that's why the school board is focused on civility. We want to make sure that everybody understands what everybody says. Sometimes we don't want to listen, but we need to listen and to be understood and to hear all sides of a discussion. And then finally, again, as Ms. Anderson stated, I want to thank Dr. Coltrane and congratulate her for Middle Level Teacher of the Year for SCASA. That's a great honor for this district. And also our finalist, another finalist for elementary education was Dr. Linda Norton from Watkins Nance Elementary, which was a great honor for her as well. And I think we had another semifinalist in Richland 1. Doc, do we have another?
That was 2.
That was 2, okay. So we're grateful for the work that they've done. They continue to grow those schools. They went from average to good, and we're grateful for what they do each and every day as leaders of those schools, with the vision to make sure that all of our young people can learn. Again, this district is about growth and not absolute, and we want to make sure that we meet those young people where they are, because sometimes our students don't always come in on level as some schools may do, but we take them from where they are to get them to where they need to be. And again, we're appreciative of the principal, of their leadership, and of this staff and administration to make sure that we take all of our children to where they need to be, and then to graduate them as well. And so, and then finally, just one last thing, the North Point community, next year we'll be starting some collaborations with them. Looking forward to making sure that we reach all of our students in all of our communities to make sure that we have all of our students from kindergarten to 12th grade to make sure that we reach them where they are. If we need to go to the community, I'm sure that Dr. Witherspoon and staff will make that happen. Again, we look forward to that collaboration with the North Point community as well. At this time, any other comments from board members? If not, if board members would join me in the front, we do have our annual ethics pledge and principal pledge. So if you could join me in the front, and we can take a group photo as well. And then finally, on behalf of the state School Boards Association, yeah, if y'all would just join me out front, I will get the honor. Let me just say this. The South Carolina School Boards Association came up with a pin this year with the American flag and the state of South Carolina flag, says SCSBA. I'm wearing one today. This goes to all of our board members to say thank you for your service. I know I'm about a month early, but that's okay. January is National School Board Appreciation Month. We're a little early, but we wanted to make sure that we get it out early so that when January comes this year, you will all already have it instead of waiting until the January 14th meeting. So I wanted to make sure that everyone gets one of these. Then we sign our pledge early enough so that we will have that ready to go as well. So if you all would join me out front here, we'll get that signed. You got a pen? I'm sorry. Yeah, let's do signatures. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Well, I won't read all of this, but just real quick, just for the audience purposes, our pledge is to, as members of the Board of School Commissioners for Richland County School District 1, we pledge our efforts to improve public education in our community, and we will solemnly try to represent the interests of the entire district when making decisions and to rely on available facts on our judgment rather than individuals or special interest groups. Understand the proper role of the board to set policies governing the district and to hire the chief administrative officer to carry out these policies. Encourage an open exchange of ideas by all board members during the decision-making process. Seek regular communications between the board and students and staff in all segments of the community. Attend all board meetings to study issues facing the board and to enact policies and official actions only after full discussion at such meetings. Communicate concerns and public reaction to board policies and school programs to the superintendent and other board members in a professional manner. Avoid conflicts of interest and to refrain from our board positions for personal or partisan gain. Take no individual action which would compromise the integrity of the board or administration, and to respect the confidentiality of information that is privileged under the Freedom of Information Act. And then lastly, make our district educational setting the best possible to encourage all students to achieve and to learn to Love Learning. Again, this is for National School Board Month for the month of January. We're a little early, but we want the school board members to wear their pin proudly for the month of January. So again, thank you all for indulging me at this time. All right, next item on the agenda is item 8.04, board officer elections. At this time, we will move to declare the offices of the school board vacant at this time. We will move to hear nominations from board members at this time.
Would you please take this manually?
We take these manually?
Take this manually because it's different ones.
I got you. All right, we will take these manually and take them one by one. So the first office that comes up is office of chairperson. Are there any nominations for the office of chairperson? Commissioner Bishop.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Jamie Devine for chairman.
Are there any nominations for chairperson? Any other nominations for chairperson?
I move that the nominations now be closed.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we close the nominations for chairperson on said name. At this time, let's take the vote. All those in favor of said name, Jamie Devine, let's signify by raising our hands. All right. Those who oppose, raise your hand. All right. The vote is 5-1. Let that record reflect. Now comes the next office, office of vice chairperson. Are there any nominations for the office of vice chairperson? Commissioner Harris?
Mr. Chair, I nominate Aaron Bishop as vice chair.
The name of Aaron Bishop has been offered up for vice chairperson. Are there any other nominations for vice chairperson? Any other nominations for vice chairperson? Any other nominations for vice chairperson? Is there a motion to close?
I make a motion that we close nominations.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we close on said name of Aaron Bishop for vice chair. All those in favor of said name signify by raising your hand. All those who oppose, raise your hand. The vote is unanimous on that one.
It's not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wasn't me.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand. And there was one, so it was 5-1 at this time. And so the vote is 5-1. The office of Secretary Treasurer, are there nominations for the office of Secretary Treasurer? Commissioner Bishop.
I nominate Lala Sauls as Secretary Treasurer.
Are there any nominations for Secretary Treasurer other than Lala Anna Sauls? Any other nominations for?
I make a motion that nominations be closed.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we close nominations on said name of Lala Anna Sauls for Secretary Treasurer. All those in favor of said name for Secretary Treasurer signify by raising your hand. All right, those who oppose, raise your hand. All right, the vote is 5-1 on said name. So for the 2020 year, the board officers, Jamie Devine as chairperson, Aaron Bishop as vice chairperson, and Lala Anna Sauls as secretary treasurer. Congratulations to all, and thank you all for your vote of confidence for another year at board chair. Thank you. At this time, we'll move to item 8.05, 2018-2019 CAFR, presented by Ms. Matthews Hazel.
Mr. Chairman, Board, Dr. Witherspoon, the external auditors have completed their annual audit, Maldens and Jenkins CPAs. They have issued the district a clean audit report, which is an unmodified opinion, and we have no management letter findings. The report has been presented to all three board committees. The administration so recommends approval.
All right, you heard the recommendation of the administration. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Bishop to approve the CAFR as presented. Now comes upon the question or discussion. Commissioner King.
Thanks. Ms. Matthews Hazel, so looked at the draft CAFR report. It's still a draft?
No, it's final now.
Okay. I still have a draft on mine. I just have a couple of things I wanted to point out. I think it was on this document that there's actually org chart, it's in there, is that right?
Yes, we have made that change in the final report. You have a draft in your board docs,
Right.
but we have made the final changes since the board committees.
Okay, so I'll look at that, because I noticed that there were only 4 EDs shown on the org chart. There are 5 EDs, right? And then the other thing I wanted to have actually on that org chart, I wanted clarification on the role of Dr. Smalls and Miss Coles. I know one is, what are the titles there? Because I couldn't really understand. One is definitely student support services, is that right? And the other one is what? I'm actually trying to pull it up right here.
Miss King,
Yes.
I don't think that's germane to the CAFR. Let's stay
Yes, it is.
germane
It's
to
in
the
there.
CAFR.
It's in there, Mr. Devine.
I understand that it's in there, but what I'm saying is that the position that you want information on isn't germane to this CAFR.
It is. I'd
We're
like to
here
have an answer since those
to
individuals.
we're here to approve the CAFR tonight.
The approval of the CAFR is based on the information that's submitted to us. I have a question on the submission of the
I
material.
understand that, but again,
So you don't want
germane
the
to
staff to answer a commissioner's answer, which is absolutely
if it's not
pertinent.
germane to the subject, no, ma'am, that is correct.
It's pertinent to the, Mr. Devine. I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about the CAFR. The org chart is in the CAFR, and it's updated I just asked clarification. Where is the conflict here?
There's no conflict.
I'm really tired of this.
There's no
I
conflict.
have the right to
I don't know
have
what you-
those answers.
I don't know what you're tired of, but I'm just telling you it's not germane to the subject.
Well, you cannot cut off the conversation. So, Dr. Witherspoon, will you please?
I'm not cutting off the conversation, but it's not germane. As chairperson, it is not germane to the
You do
conversation.
not rule, Mr.
That's-
Chair. You
I call for point of order.
There is no point of order. The point of order
Madam
is that I
Chair.
have a question.
As parliamentarian, I call for point of order.
What is your point of order?
So the point of
What
order
is the point of
that-
order?
The point of order is that you're out of order.
I am not. I'm talking about
and
the
that
CAFR.
What's your question is not germane to the subject. We're talking about the CAFR.
Well, this is sad. Very, very sad.
You have any other questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's your next question.
So, no material weaknesses, and there was the prior adjustment on financial report. One internal control over financial reporting material weakness was the prior adjustment was made to properly reinstate, so that was done?
Yes, that's a financial adjustment that was made to our financial statements.
Okay, and it was made since since it was discovered last year, is it?
No, it's not yes, it was made this year with the assistance of our external auditors.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments regarding the CAFR at this time? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll now move to cast our votes electronically. The vote is 5 yeas, 1 abstention to approve the CAFR for 2018-2019. Next on the item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is 2020 legislative platform presented by Ms. York.
Thank you and good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Witherspoon. For more than 20 years, Richland One has developed an annual legislative platform that states the district's positions on key education-related legislative issues that have or could have a significant impact on Richland One. The board, superintendent, and the superintendent's executive team participated in the development of our 2020 legislative platform. The development process included the receipt and review of information on legislative issues from the South Carolina School Boards Association. Our new legislative platform includes the district's position statements on a range of issues, including accountability, education funding, governance, school safety and security, and vouchers and tax credits. Upon approval, a 2020 legislative platform brochure will be developed by the Office of Communications and distributed to the Richland County Legislative Delegation, district staff, School Improvement Council chairpersons, PTA, PTO presidents, and others. The new legislative platform also will be posted on the district's website. Mr. Chair, the administration recommends approval of Richland One's 2020 legislative platform. The administration so recommends.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration as it pertains to the 2020 legislative platform. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Sauls to approve said item. Now comes the point of discussion or questions. Seeing none, hearing none, we will now move to cast our votes electronically. The vote is 6-0. The motion did pass to approve the 2020 legislative platform. Thank you, Ms. York. We look forward to the final product as well. Next is item 8.07 to 8.25, which is the board policies. I will read all these in, and then we'll take one vote on these. 8.07, policy ADC, tobacco-free school district. Policy DIE, audits, financial monitoring. Policy EEAE, bus safety program. Policy GBED, tobacco-free schools, staff, no smoking. Policy GCBE, athletic assignments and supplementary pay. Board policy GDQB, resignation of staff. Policy IHBF, medical homebound instruction. Policy IJNDB, use of technology resources in instruction. Policy IKA, grading and assessment systems. Policy JII, student concerns, complaints, and grievances. Board policy JFAA, admissions of resident students. Policy JFAB, admission of non-resident students. Policy JFAC, student assignments and transfers. Policy JFABD, admission of homeless students. Policy JLF, student welfare. And policy JKD, suspension of students. And then finally, policy KDC, district-sponsored information media. Policy KLGA, school resource officers. And finally, policy JICG, tobacco-free schools. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
So moved by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Sauls to approve item 8.07 to 8.25. Now comes the point of discussion or at this time. Questions? This is second reading.
That is correct.
Of these policies. We put it out to for public comment for 30 days. There were no comments submitted, so we're going to make the final approval tonight. What is the pleasure? I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and move towards electronic voting at this time. All right, the policy passed 6-0 on all said items. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Next is Office of Superintendent, 9.01, receipt of legal advice pursuant to South Carolina FOIA law, presented by Ms. Williams.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Dr. Witherspoon, information was presented during executive session as an information item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
This is an informational item where we receive legal advice in executive session. Any questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, hearing none. Thank you so much, Ms. Williams.
You're welcome.
Next is 9.02, Superintendent's Report, presented by Dr. Witherspoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Last week, and board members have already stated this, but last week we had some major announcements since our last board meeting. As was mentioned, W.A. Perry Middle School Principal Dr. Robin Coltrane was announced the 2020 South Carolina Middle Level Principal of the Year by the South Carolina Association of School Administrators, SCASA. Congratulations again to Dr. Coltrane, and we look forward to formally recognizing her at the January 14th board meeting. We were proud, again, as has been stated, to have two finalists for the Principal of the Year awards. Dr. Linda Norton, principal at Watkins Nance Elementary School, was one of the two finalists for statewide Elementary Principal of the Year, and congratulations to Dr. Norton. Speaking of Watkins Nance, on November 21st, we held a news conference in partnership with the United Way of the Midlands to mark the official launch of the Resiliency Team at Watkins Nance as a part of United Way's Resilient Richland Initiative. The initiative aims to reduce the stigma of trauma and equip individuals and organizations to build resilience among children and youth who experience traumatic incidents, also referred to as childhood adverse experiences or adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. And again, we have a very strong partnership with United Way of the Midlands, and this is another example of how we're working with community and with families to help mitigate some of the things that happen in our communities and with our kids and families that sometimes can impede the learning progress. But it's gratifying to know that we have individuals in the community that recognize that and work with us to put resources in place to help. We also recently, on November 19th, held the Richland One Magnet Fair at Hayward Career and Technology Center. Parents and students had an opportunity to learn about the district's 12 magnet programs, including Montessori, language immersion, career magnets, and the virtual school. On Monday, December 16th, we will begin taking applications online for our magnet programs for the 2020-2021 school year. All Richland One students, regardless of their school attendance zone, may apply to enroll in a magnet program within the district, unless the program is designated as one that is zoned for certain attendance areas. Admissions is based on successful completion of the application process, which may include attending an information session and meeting qualifying criteria. For more information about the magnet program application progress, including dates and times of upcoming parent information sessions, go to our website at richland1.org. We encourage everyone to save the date and make plans to attend our 16th annual Richland One Hall of Fame Induction Gala, which will be held Saturday, February 1st at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. The red carpet reception will begin at 5 p.m. and the program will begin at 6 p.m. This year's inductees are Judge Mildred Weathers McDuffie and Dr. Lonnie Randolph, Jr. Gala tickets may be purchased from the Office of Communications, which is located on the second floor of the Stevenson Administration Building, 1616 Richland Street. Tickets may also be purchased online at richland1.org. And for more information, you may call 231-7504. I would also like to thank the 25-plus Richland One administrators and individuals from our student support office that came out last Saturday, spent about 3 hours helping the Columbia Rotary to do, I think, about over 10,000 meal packs that would benefit students and families in our Richland One footprint. I just want to say thank you to those administrators. We had principals, assistant principals, again, the central office staff, and from schools, elementary, middle, and high school, and hats off to those individuals that, again, continue to go above and beyond and help our families and help our community. And, Mr. Chair, you and I had an opportunity to visit Pendergrass Fairwall today, where the students there, and I want to recognize two of those students, Jada and James. They have the projects and things that they do, but they're making cardboard furniture, benches and puppet stands and footrests, and then they had another group of students that were making bracelets and